It is March the 2nd, 2024, one day after the release of Bruce Dickinson's new solo album, The Mandrake Project. You can see it's in a rather large, this is not a scale misnomer here. This is actual scale. It's 5/8 of the size of my head. Anyway, $27, almost I think 28 on Amazon, quite expensive. Bruce hasn't done a solo record in over a decade, I think. It's been quite a while. And who doesn't know Bruce and Iron Maiden and love his music? But $28, and I'm thinking, what's in the deluxe edition? Because I did not see a regular edition. So I'm going to show you what is in the deluxe edition. So you get this big box with an outside cover with the song titles and Bruce taking this spooky picture in a graveyard. It's clear. And then you open it up. This other thing slides out, and I have another piece of big cardboard with a weird coin on the front of it, and then a coin in his hand in the back. And this is a large booklet. So you open it up, and it's a comic book. So on the left side, it's the Mandrake Project Prologue. So they're letting you know that this is going to continue this comic book series. So I read the entire comic, and it's like 8 pages or something like that. It's double-sided artwork. So you've got, of course, the obligatory heavy metal pentagram on page 1.
Fun.
That has to be there for metal, I guess. I mean, it's become so
Cliche.
yeah, so cliche that, come on, really? Are we like 14 still in 1982 or whatever? So, Bruce has got a lot of the lyrics about a prophet and burning in hell and all this stuff. And it's a lot of the stuff from Iron Maiden records, seventh son of a seventh son kind of vibe. But honestly, if you try to read it through and find a story in this comic book, it's a bunch of gobbledygook. Come on, man. His audience is like as old as me. I'm 52 years old. I mean, am I going to really be reading a comic book? Unless it's like a throwback to Tales from the Crypt where,
That's what it looks like.
well, I mean, it's trying to be just vintage comic book-esque. But, I mean, you get halfway through it, and what follows is a 6-page preview of the first issue of the Mandrake Project, available now through your local comic shop. I have a local comic shop? Are you kidding? Does anyone have a local comic shop? Do you know of one in our town, a comic shop?
No.
We don't even have a record store.
Yeah.
I mean, am I going to go back in time to read this, I guess?
I mean, even me reading a Kindle, they're like, you read a Kindle? Like, that's old.
I know, right?
No.
Maybe you go through a portal in this thing, and it takes you back to 1982, where you have a local comic book shop.
That's what the pentagram's for.
Oh, I'm supposed to step in the pentagram.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm supposed to put this on the floor and step on it and fly back to 1982, jump through the Large Hadron Collider or something, and end up in 1982 where I can.
The graphics are really cool in it, though. So
No,
if you
no,
want
yeah,
for that, it's really cool.
But I mean,
like the graphics.
I mean, seriously, like I said, you got to know who your audience is. I mean, I suppose there's some young people around the world that want to get into Bruce Dickinson that have never heard of Iron Maiden or him before, and they're like 12 years old and they want a comic book. I don't know that they have $28 to spend on a 6 or 8 page comic book.
He needs to make
when what they want is this one CD that's sticking out of the top corner here. And I'll tell you again about paper CD holders. I freaking hate them. If you have a CD rack and all your CDs are this big, right? They're like 5.5 inches by 6.5 inches. What are you going to do with this? I mean, it's not going to fit in your tray. If you keep it, it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to create a library special for this, and then I don't like this stuff. What were you going to say?
He needs to make a Fortnite version of this comic book.
Well, I don't even know what Fortnite is. What
for
is
little
it?
Kids.
Fortnite is a video game?
Yeah, see, now you would have
Well,
to
I
like
mean,
that.
so you know what's funny about that? Iron Maiden had a video game, and I can't remember what it was called. Ed, what's that Eddie guy called? Ed something.
Okay.
Ed had video game or something, and the one record came out as a video game,
Well, that'd
and
be
you
cool.
could put it in there, but it never worked right. I don't know what happened with it, and I don't think anybody actually ever played the Eddie video game. If I'm wrong, somebody please let me know in the comments. But I never successfully was able to play the Eddie video game.
Ooh, that's gonna be one we need to look for.
There's probably YouTube somewhere. If you put Eddie video game Iron Maiden, it'll probably come up with some guy like
It's worth
he's
$10,000.
he's got the Killers album Eddie, where he's stabbing somebody out in the parking lot, and then the Somewhere in Time guy where he's pulling somebody through the Large Hadron Collider to get into his comic book, and I just don't understand it. So anyway, go to your local comic shop that doesn't exist, or direct from z2comics.com. So
Which is probably who produced that, huh?
yeah, I suppose. Well, it says that the story is by Bruce Dickinson, and then the script, which there is no script. I don't know what this is. I read through it. I have no idea what they're talking about. So Tony Lee, I'm sure you just like put a bunch of words that were gobbledygook to these pictures.
Well, I don't know a lot.
Art
about
is
this.
by Stas Johnson. The art is great. I mean, if you like looking at weird pictures, they could probably put the weird pictures on the stage on the concert, which will be a cool tie-in in the live show.
See, the test for me would be, since I don't know a lot of Iron Maiden, if I read it, would I understand?
Well, yeah, right. If my wife read it and she understands what it means, maybe she could translate it to me. But anyway, it's clear that this is an extra cash grab. After I just spent $28 for this CD, it's one disc, 10 songs. It cost me $2.80 a song. I'm going to keep the disc, and then this is going to get donated because I'm not going to put it in my rack. It ain't going to fit. And it's not like I'm going to go, hey, what am I do today? I'm going to go back and read the 6-page comic book that's inside of this CD. I mean, come on, man, really? And then it's got a mock-up of like some kind of Aztec calendar.
What's in the back of that one?
Oh, and then you got, okay, so that's the part that you're right. I forgot to mention. So on the right side is this pullout from the massive second piece of cardboard. And it's extra large lyrics. Now, I will say that if you know your audience, that's great because us old people can't see small print. You know what I'm saying? I get my regular CD out. It's like, I got to take my glasses and then get a magnifying glass on top of it, right? Say, what the heck does that say? Because I don't know what it says. So, but do I really need a lyric sheet? Maybe other than for my eyes, do I really need lyric sheets this big? At this stage, there's a cool picture of him standing on
his pentagram.
Almost. portal to the netherworld or wherever he wants to go.
To the comic shop.
Yeah, to the comic shop. And maybe in Britain there are local comic shops, but here in the United States, I mean, if you Googled it, this is the last page of this. There's another picture of him, which is cool. And in the back, you know, if somebody wants to collect stuff, just to collect stuff, I suppose they like this. But to me, I was excited enough. It's been over 10 years. He's got a new record. I want to hear it, but I don't want to pay $28, man. And I don't definitely want to pay more money to get more comics that I'm never going to look at. And when you compare the other records that I just bought the new Judas Priest record, and it was like $12. So this better be a really good record, Bruce, because if I spent $28 for a 8-page comic book and Judas Priest record was $12 and it's better than this one, I'm going to be not happy. So I'm warning y'all out there. If you just want the Bruce Dickinson record, I don't know how you're supposed to find it because I didn't see the regular version on Amazon. I would not have bought this one if I had a choice. Maybe you could find it somewhere else. Maybe there's an exclusive at Walmart or something. I don't know. Or maybe just wait till it's out there online and listen to it for free if you don't want to spend $28 for this big old hunk of cardboard that's going to end up in a landfill somewhere eventually.
Aw,
Well, I mean, that's what happens.
I know.
All the cardboard, paper, and all this stuff, it ends up in landfills. And you got to try to be at least a little bit environmentally conscious now because
well,
basically.
I guess paper's better than plastic, right? It should compost down.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I don't know. Silver lining.
It still takes up space, right?
It does.
It has space. Oh.
We're done.
I don't know what a mandrake project is. I read the whole cartoon. To me, a mandrake is something in Harry Potter.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, unless he
It's a real plant.
He transplanted to himself to hell somehow. I don't know what it has to do with a mandrake. I don't know. I read it. I don't even understand what it meant. And I haven't listened to the record yet. I hope the record's great. But this is your warning. If you don't want to spend $28 on a comic book, listen to the record first somewhere. Right?
Mandragora.
Yeah, I don't know about a $28 CD, man.
Yeah, sorry.